Welcome students again into the 12th science chemistry class. In the yesterday's lecture we learned about the stocking in the two-dimensional as well as one-dimensional. In one-dimensional, that is arranging the spheres, there is only one way, arranged in a row, and the coordination number of that spheres will be 2 given sphere. In two-dimensional arrangement, there are two different types of ways: square close pack and hexagonal close pack layers. That means stocking of the layers, one-dimensional layers, one above another in such a way that there is the AA type of arrangement, and that will form the square close packed structure. And if we arrange the second layer in the depressions of the first layer spheres, then there is the formation of the hexagonal close packed structure. Now today we have to learn the close packing in 3 dimensions. Now if we stock the two-dimensional layers one above another, then there is formation of the three-dimensional structure having length, breadth and height. And the stocking of the two-dimensional layers form a three-dimensional crystal structure. Now if we stock the two-dimensional layer of square close packed, or if the square close packed layers are stocked on each other, then there is the formation of the simple cubic structure. That is the simple cubic crystal. That is the primitive unit cell. It have the primitive unit cell, simple cubic unit cell. That means all the layers of the square planar structures are same, alike, and they are all AA type. But if we stock the two-dimensional hexagonal packed structure or hexagonal close pack of two-dimensional, then there are the two different types of crystals are formed. One is the hexagonal close packed structure, HCP, and another is the face centered cubic cell, FCC. Then how they are formed, let us learn now. So what is here? A close packing in 3 dimensions. Stocking of two-dimension layers gives rise to three-dimensional crystal structures. The first way is on stocking two-dimensional square close packed layers, that is AA type of layers. If we stocked them, only one type of simple cubic lattice structure is formed, and that is the SCC, simple cubic crystal. On stocking the two-dimensional square close packed layers, there is formation of only three-dimensional simple cubic crystal is formed. Only one simple cubic crystal is formed, which is the three-dimensional. Now on stocking two-dimensional hexagonal close pack, if we stock the two-dimensional hexagonal close pack structures, then what happened? Two different crystal structures are formed. One is the hexagonal close packed structure is formed, and another is the face centered cubic structure is formed. Now let us learn the first stocking of the square close packed layers. On stocking the square close packed layers, how the simple cubic crystal is formed, let us learn. Stocking of the two-dimensional square close packed layers, the two-dimensional square close packed layers, on their stocking, it generates a three-dimensional simple cubic structure, simple cubic crystal. SCC. In this arrangement, spheres of all the layers are perfectly aligned horizontally as well as vertically. As in the two-dimensional, there are also the spheres are aligned horizontally and vertically. In the similar manner, in the three-dimensional stocking also, the spheres are aligned horizontally as well as vertically in this type of three-dimensional structure. Hence, all the layers are alike in this, and the arrangement is called as the AAAA type of arrangement. The structure that result on stocking the square close packed layers, that structure which is formed on stocking this square close packed layer is the simple cubic structure, and its unit cell is the primitive cubic unit cell, because the unit cell of simple cubic structure is the primitive cubic unit cell. In simple cubic structure in SCC, each sphere touches the 6 neighboring spheres. Out of them, 4 spheres in its own layer. We know that in the two-dimensional simple cubic, or in the two-dimensional that is the simple cubic structure on stocking two-dimensional close packed structure. We know that in the simple or close packed structure in the two dimension, the coordination number is 4. In the yesterday lecture I told you, that is one sphere which is given sphere touches the 4 different neighboring spheres in the square close packed layer in 2 dimension. But if we place these 2-dimensional layer or stock these 2-dimensional layers one above another, making AAA type of, that is the simple cubic crystal, then at that time the given sphere touches the 6 different spheres. Out of them, 4 are in the same layer of 2-dimensional. One is above and one is below layer spheres. So 6 neighboring spheres are there which touches the given sphere, 4 in its own layer, 1 in the layer above and 1 in the layer below. Hence, its coordination number of simple cubic crystal, the coordination number of simple cubic crystal is 6. Remember that. In 3-dimensional, if we stocked the 2-dimensional square close packed structure, there is the formation of simple cubic crystal, and the coordination number in that simple cubic crystal is 6, because the given sphere touches the 6 neighboring sphere, 4 in its own layer, 1 is above layer and another is the below layer. And polonium is one of the most famous, or only polonium, that is the metal which crystallizes in the SCP, simple cubic crystal, SCC. So polonium, that is the example which crystallizes in the simple cubic crystal. Now after stocking the AA layers one above another in the 3 dimension, how that figure looks, let us see. Now this is the stocking of square close packed 2-dimensional layers one above another and form the 3-dimensional simple cubic structure. And that simple cubic structure have all the layers are same of AAAA type, and the unit cell is the primitive unit cell. Now this is the that is SCC type of crystal structure. Now let us learn the another. Now Pay attention students on the blackboard again. Now we have to stock the hexagonal close packed layer, that is the two-dimensional hexagonal close packed layers. When stocked one another, there is the formation of the three-dimensional structure. Now to generate this three-dimensional structure, hexagonal close packed layers are arranged or stocked in such a way that the second layer are placed in the depression of the first layer. The first layer is hexagonal close packed, which is two-dimensional, and the second layer is placed on that in such a way that the spheres of the second layers are aligned in the depression of the first layers. So, to generate three-dimensional structure, hexagonal close packed layers are arranged in such a way that the second layer are placed in the depression of the first layer. Now, there are formation of two different layers. One is the A layer, and on that there is the B layer, because B layer is differently arranged in the depression of the spheres. We arrange the spheres of the second layer. So, the first layer is of A type and second layer is of the B type. That is AB type of structure will be formed. Now, there are two types of voids are formed. During the arranging these structure, two types of voids are formed. Let us first see how the second layer is placed on the first layer of the hexagonal close packed and how it looks. After placing, there are the formation of two different voids will be there. How are that? Let us see. Now see this arrangement. The first layer is also the hexagonal close packed layer, that is of black spheres, and the second layer is also the hexagonal close packed layer in the two-dimensional, that are shown by the red spheres, and on the first hexagonal close packed layer, second hexagonal close packed layer is placed, which is also placed in the depression of the first spheres. So there is the formation of two different types of voids are formed. Now see clearly two voids. In the upper line, the octahedral voids, and in its just below there is the triangular voids, and that is the tetrahedral voids. Now how they are formed, let us see. The first type of the voids, that is the triangular voids, that are covered by the spheres, that are also covered by the spheres of the second layer, and that generate tetrahedral voids. Due to the covering of the second layer, the triangular voids which are present into that of the hexagonal close pack, we know that there are the triangular voids in the two-dimensional hexagonal close pack. Now, out of them, triangular voids which are covered by the spheres of the second layer are called as, that is the tetrahedral voids, because there is the formation of tetrahedron like shape. So the triangular voids that are covered by the spheres, all triangular voids into the hexagonal close packed two-dimensional structure are not covered by the spheres of the second layer. So that triangular voids which are covered by the spheres of the second layer, that form or generate tetrahedral voids. The tetrahedral void is surrounded by the four spheres. Joining the center of these four spheres, a tetrahedron is formed. So that voids are called as the tetrahedral voids. Now see this figure. This is the figure of tetrahedral void. Here, four spheres are there. That means these are formed by the, they are surrounded by this tetrahedral hole or void is surrounded by 4 spheres. And if we join the center of these 4 spheres, a tetrahedron will be formed. And so the name is tetrahedral void. Now this is the tetrahedral void. And the second, the remaining triangular voids which are not covered by the second layer, that are open voids, and the remaining triangular voids of the first layer, that above them the triangular voids of the second layers. That means the remaining triangular voids which are not covered by the spheres of the second layer remains as it, but on that the second layer is in such a way that the voids of the second layer are exactly on the remaining triangular voids. Due to that, what happened? The remaining triangular voids of the first layer has above them the triangular voids of the second layers will come and form an octahedral void, which is surrounded by 6 spheres as shown in the figure. Now see, these are the first layer, red spheres are the first layer. Due to that, the triangular void, such type of triangular void will be formed, showing the apex below, okay, down below. Again, on placing the second layer on that triangular voids in such a way that its triangular void comes on that the triangular void of the first layer. Now I will show this with that blue, as there are the blue sphere in the second. So this void, this void octahedral hole will form, and so this void is called as the octahedral void, because due to that there is formation of octahedron like shape, and so the name is the octahedral void. So on placing or stocking the two-dimensional hexagonal close packed layers one above another, there is formation of three-dimensional structure in which there are the two types of voids, that is tetrahedral void and octahedral void. But this stocking of hexagonal close packed form two different types of crystals. I told you already this when I start the lecture, that the stocking of the hexagonal close packed layer one above another, they form the two different types of the three-dimensional structure, that is hexagonal close packed structure and that is cubic close packed, which is also called as the face center cubic cell. Now how that are formed, let us learn. Now again pay attention students here. Now we know that in the hexagonal close packed that is the structure, that is two-dimensional structure, there is formation on stocking this two-dimensional structure of hexagonal close pack. There is formation of the three-dimensional structure, but that three-dimensional structures are of two types, that is the hexagonal close pack and FCC, face centered cubic, or it is also called as the cubic that is called as the cubic close pack also it is called. Now how these two types of structures are formed, let us learn. So types of placing the third hexagonal close packed layer. Now the third layer of hexagonal close packed is arranged by two different ways. There are two ways of placing the third hexagonal close packed layer on the second hexagonal close packed layer. The first way is, one way, that is the first way of doing this is to align the spheres of the third with the spheres of the first layer. Now when we arrange the third layer of hexagonal close packed structure on the second layer, then arrange the third layer in such a way that the spheres of the third layer must align on the spheres of the first layer. That means the first layer and the third layer are same, but the second layer is different. We know that the second layer is different in the hexagonal close pack. So, there is formation of AB type of pattern of the layers will be formed. So, on doing this, to align the spheres of the third with the spheres of the first layer, this result or the resulting pattern of the layer will be then AB type. And this arrangement results in the hexagonal close pack. So, the structure which is obtained on placing the third layer similarly as the first layer of hexagonal close packed, there is formation of the hexagonal close packed structure is formed. And which metals crystallizes in hexagonal close packed structure? Magnesium and zinc. These are the two metals which crystallizes in HCP crystal. Now the second way of placing the third layer, the second way is there of placing the third layer in the hexagonal closed pack such that, now the second way of placing the third hexagonal closed pack on the second layer is such that it covers the octahedral voids. Now place the third layer of hexagonal closed pack on the second layer in such a way that the octahedral void must be covered. So, due to that, what happened? It covered the octahedral void by the spheres of the third layer. Therefore, the third layer do not align with the first layer because we are placing the third layer on the octahedral voids. That means the first and the third layers are not aligned. They not matches. That the third layer is totally different. That is of C type, which is totally different layer. So it is called as the C type of the layer. And again the fourth layer is same as that of the A type. That is, the fourth layer is same as that of the first layer, which is the A type. So this pattern is called as ABC type of pattern, because all the three layers are different and the fourth layer again matches with the or align with the first layer. So and the second align with the second, third align with the third layer. So this pattern is called as the ABC type of pattern, and this arrangement gives cubic close packed structure, cubic close packed, which is similar or same, this is same as that of the FCC structure, face centered cubic structure. The cubic close packed structure is similar to that of the face centered structure. And the metals, for example, the metals copper and silver crystallizes in this face centered cubic structure or cubic close structure. Now this is about the placing of the, that is, three-dimensional structure formation. That is the we will learn the one-dimensional structure, two-dimensional structure, and these are the three-dimensional structure which will be formed. That is the simple cubic structure, hexagonal close packed structure, and the face centered of cube or cubic close packed structure. Now, if student you understand this very well of three-dimensional structure, then you can subscribe, like and share this video to the other student so that they have also they easily understand this topic very well, and they can again write down their questions in all the examination very easily or easier manner. So thank you for watching this video.